Hi folks, we are going to watch some Champions of Westeros tonight, and this is already the semi-final stage. We have our first finalist, Jakob Müller, who beat Radek, the newly crowned Hands Tourney champion, and the other pairing is going to be between Toomagic and Lukas Abels-Vehns, and they have just started. So let's see what decks the players have chosen. Interesting. So we have Targaryen, Valyrian Steel. That's the deck that got to the final today in the Hands Tourney, played by Alex. We'll see if it's similar. Guessing it's not actually, because Lissonomar is something I have not seen in that one. And we have Lukas playing Martell Knights of the Hollow Hill, and surprise here as well. Not opening with a drop lot like they tend to do, or with, well, actually did open with Behest of course, but he has that little surprise, Behesting into Naval Superiority. So I'm guessing the other option is something like Summer Harvest, which you take if it's Time of Plenty or something that Naval doesn't hit. And we'll see if this proves useful. So it's not completely zero gold. You can do stuff, especially if there's also an attachment that you can put into play. You can use the agenda to gain gold. Well, not the worst thing, especially since Lukas himself is not gonna have a board here. Yeah, no drop lot, but he does have Dorn. And he keeps 2 gold. Since there's no military character, you could always just play a Chad if you have it. So that 2 gold must be for something, I'm guessing here. So Vengeance for Elia, or Last of the Giants. Well, if it is Last of the Giants, maybe this was the plan, and that's gone now. And I think Power Challenge might be happening now. No, because this guy is in the discard pile, he could come into play, and Lissono has insight, but okay, over reserve, so fair enough, taking dominance instead. Not feeding Dorn, and tough to say who won this start. Guess when Naval hits, it's always a good one for you. And now let's see, is it Summer Harvest? Because if the Maiden didn't get the gold you needed, might be an econ plot. It's actually the father against exchange of information. Am I saying that right? Is Varys the only character? Oh, there's also Meg the Mighty. Okay, we can actually see it if we click on the deck for a second there. Okay, Varys, Dorn, War Scorpion, and his Viper Eyes. So War Scorpion is newish. It's an attachment that removes something from the challenge, potentially kills it. Now, okay, if it's a dragon, you can kill something. So I wonder if he's playing it anyway, just because it's a nice attachment that in the late game can help you push power challenges through, or if he was expecting Targaryen here Put it in just in case there was a dragon. Hmm. Guardian Shadows. Now, as far as attachments go, Queensguard and Pinch of Powder are two that have Shadow. If it's a character, could be, yeah, several options really. So he didn't give Meg the Mighty to Lukas, gave him Varys. So now have to expect that Varys is coming, right? Of course, Valyrian still has some potential counterplay. If you have milk, you can put it into play with the agenda in the dominance phase, especially if he comes in with Last of the Giants, that just kills him then. And here comes the Lisona challenge. It's a really nice ability that Lisona has. It's not overpowered, it's just interesting. Completely changes the way challenges phase is played. I think it's a nice card for a champion, European champion. But Reinhardt actually went on to win Worlds as well that year, so he has another card designed for that one. And you can do the win by 5 stuff, of course. No pinch from Shadow, so I'm guessing that's probably not it. And so we have the father, which is a forced interrupt. That means it would get Varys anyway this round. And if there's no Varys or anything else, then it simply won't trigger. Currently there's only a non-unique here. So insight from Lisono and insight from Captain Groleon because he has Dragon Egg. So refilled his hand quite nicely. And he can try to defend the power challenge. There's still 5 gold. He's going to defend it with Lisono. Does this work on defense? No. War Scorpion could have also come into play with ambush. Okay, Lukas takes dominance. And I'm guessing he's not doing anything else here because of the plot. In theory he could have someone always tells, but that's at this point a waste of resources, nothing duped anyway. Interesting how this Martell deck plays all the draw and still can afford to just waste 5 gold, go through the entire round without doing anything with it, and it's fine. You just play on. Okay. Return to the field, keeping characters alive. Something has to die. Slightly unfortunate for Toomagic here, because you want Freedmen in the discard pile, but these are uniques. So we'll see, maybe half a chance that some of them cannot theoretically come back anyway. Yeah, so maybe there is one copy of Lisono and couldn't come back, or maybe he's getting close called. And killing the escort, which is nice in the discard pile usually. Yeah, so Behest into Naval takes some plot slots that we've not seen in some other decks. So I wonder what the rest is here. Double exchange was the norm pretty much throughout Worlds. There's also Coppers, the Stranger, March to the Wall. Can't fit them all in. And Mad King's Command, which would be good for Lukas because the locations have grown here a bit, and full hand, so Targaryen doing well. Actually, now that I look at it, how's then escort in the discard pile? Not so great because of the market. In the dead pile, you can at least get it with on a Misty Morn. So this time Targaryen keeps some gold, so now Aegon is restricted. Wonder what else could be in shadows. Or with ambush. Potentially you can play a big what's that event? Gifts for the Widow. But there's no real target for it. Don't want a Queen's Guard on Grole or something like that. So Varys we know is in hand. But of course we don't know if there is the rest of the giants. using 2 effects to gain further gold. Still not quite enough to ambush Drogon in, but enough for Aegon. And Lukas has now spent the gold. So what's the army or mercenary situation? Maybe Dario Naharis can even take a character, kill the other one. There we go. And the win by 5. There was a Drogon. Not quite enough gold for him this round. And power plus dominance. And Daria goes back to hand. So, okay, good start for Targaryen. Now this game does not have a time limit, which means if Lukas can eventually destroy the board, he can come back. And he definitely has all the cards. Any more actions here? There is still some gold for Targaryen. And maybe before the round expires you might want to use this. Okay, not on the Martell cards perhaps, but maybe Drogon. Breaker of chains, let's see what that does. Okay, can cheat characters into play. So this is a pretty unique ability. Marinese Market that can put a card on the bottom of your deck. And we've had Banjicot for a while now, from when Sky's Honor was released. And I've not seen that particular combination ever. So he needs something that shares a trait with him, right? Which means House Arryn or Fool. Or I think he has the ally trait. So yeah, nothing here really. These you kind of want in the discard pile anyway. Just you could make a deck, I guess, out of Targaryen with that in mind. Gaining plot phase gold. What for? Maybe just to spend into marshalling ways. Or is there anything else that Targaryen wants here? More draw against the Smith. And these can all be knelt to new locations. So if Lukas decides to go second, then he's going to lose the Donish Fiefdom anyway. If he goes first, then it only gives 1 gold. And he's going first. And he's going to get the full set here. So first action will be probably to kneel this, and then the other one gets knelt. Yeah, you have to click on the Smith. And anything else that gets marshaled can be knelt, because there is immediately an action for the opponent. Yeah, may as well. Have plenty of attachments, even if something like Starfall comes into play. Still enough to kneel them all. And I'm starting to think that Mad King's Command is not in this particular Martell deck. Okay, so we have that Tarnished Spy in hand. Okay, he's marshaled the other escort, which means can't play it now. But what's the ambush on War Scorpion? Ambush 3? Yeah, so that's too expensive as well, but still within that rest of the giants possibility with 2 gold. Just a free 0 cost attachment, which I'm guessing does nothing. +1 strength. Yeah, back before this was redesigned, the Valyrian Steel agenda, I used to just put everything in, all the green dreams, and in Baratheon that stupid visited by shadows and stuff like that, just because there was a limit 3 times per round and you can always count on those attachments just replacing themselves. And then occasionally, of course, there was also some benefit. Plenty of gold to put something bigger in. Of course, big doesn't really work that well against Martell reset. What you need is a constant stream of these icons that do challenges and keep the pressure on, keep gaining power. And if you're going to put big stuff with renown on, you need to keep it in play. He can take them all again. They're all allies. I wonder if there's a secret pact. Although, again, I don't know exactly what the ambush cost is. I'm guessing it's 2. Could it be 3? Shut down Dario, that would be pretty nice here. Yeah, defending this means you give cards away for Dorn and then there's still no power to steal on the faction card. But it is sensible, I guess, to just concentrate now on staying ahead, not give any power away. This one you could still let go if you really wanted to steal power back, but it's of course it's not guaranteed, because even with that Viserys standing, there could be tricks to get him out of the challenge. Take his icon perhaps. So we have Plaza and we have still 2 copies of Freedmen. I think there was a chance to trigger them actually earlier in the previous round, but Toomagic decided not to. Guess doesn't want to waste them if they stay in play when let's say the stranger is triggered. I'm guessing here a bit what the last plots are. Still no proper economy plot, but we see that they manage without somehow. So 2 draws already. Could it be just 2 more resets, or maybe 1 draw and 1 reset? March to the wall is almost always in these decks, right? And protects his hand with burning. But then Targaryen doing alright, keeps a full hand. So I guess Dario does military with taking the escort. Then if you want to do Varys, you're just going to concede another unopposed, right? Just in case there's some kind of nightmares. And getting rid of a renowned character because Toomagic is about to get to 11 and then could push on even after a Varys or another kind of reset. Here we go. He knows it's not getting blocked. There is something in shadows, which is a bit of a mystery. And stays there. And now there might be a bit of waste here because all those attachments going back has now put Toomagic way over reserve. Is there any chance of using the agenda to put maybe another card somewhere? Seized in the standing phase would have been amazing, right, on Dawn with all that gold left. Yeah. What else does he have available? I think he has a reset of some kind, which is not going to help him. And then I can't see him playing barring the gates with all that ambush. I mean ambush shadows and Freedmen, for instance. So that would really stop Martell's potential comeback. But okay, he has plenty of cards here. And this time he remembers to remove the escort. Just the one though. It's all three there. Amazing. Okay. Mad King's Command. I was wondering. So he's gone wide with locations, which is unusual. And he's going to hurt himself a little bit, but he has a card that can come into play later. And he has the Freedman. The question is, can he win anything by 5 though? Slightly worried for him. Because Martell is now going to do all the tricks, right? And maybe keep the escorts now in the discard pile because of the plot. So get 3 characters in play and make sure that you have some... never mind. Just marshal them. Make sure that you have some kind of ambush after that as well. Or just the secret schemes. They like to play that. Go down to 3 cards, then immediately back to 8. Or 7 at least, I guess. And just marshalling Dornish Spy, even though it's an ambush character and there was gold. Guess it's the only way he could find not to waste too many cards. So maybe something else is going to be used. Could be Last of the Giants again, actually. Playing that into Meg the Mighty or Lysa. Then you get Intimidate and yeah, you remove extra cards. And I'm thinking March to follow, but that's not guaranteed. If it's just Morgulis and March, that's a bit low on resets for this type of deck, I guess. And Targaryen not having fun with this round at all. No characters played out. Still some gold with those reducers. Yeah, his Viper Eyes earlier discarded Drogon. So maybe Lukas liked what he saw at that point, looking at the hand. There could be not much left here, and anything that gets marshaled now might just die. He had the event though, and decided to... Oh, Blood Magic Ritual, actually I thought, just looking at the card, it was Blood of My Blood, but yeah, that makes no sense in this type of deck. Well, attached character still gains the insight, which is awkward for Toomagic. I guess there was no other way. And now a big win here. To put Friedman in this type of round with Mad King's Command would have been amazing, but yeah. As usual, that Varys trigger completely turns it around. And these decks dig so well for that Varys. Always 10 cards in hand. All the Doran triggers. Because if you're going to use 2 cards, Last of the Giants, into Varys in dominance and make sure there's no cancels and no nightmares and stuff like that, it takes some work, right? And we're not seeing that played in other decks. We're not seeing some Baratheon Knights of the Hollow Hill with Throne and Chamber and just Varys a couple of times per game. It did exist actually, and I guess it still does, but we're not seeing that in proper tournaments these days, or any other faction. So it's just this super draw that Martell has to get away with that type of deck, and then they have these guys from the discard pile to support it, among others, of course. So I'm guessing we won't know what the mystery card is. And here comes the... Ah! Alright. That's handy. Doesn't get the inside, doesn't get the intrigue claim. And if they want to do power, then they're not winning military against the assassin. But I think they're doing challenges anyway, just to trigger Dorn on the military as well. He can defend himself and then maybe Plaza if there's something to discard and go for intrigue. That's the one you can do without Dorn messing with you, although you could have vengeance in hand, I guess. Doesn't do anything, maybe doesn't have the cards to discard. And big secret schemes to get to the last plot. As I suggested, I wonder if he had it, or if the Dorn trigger gave it to him. Guessing he must have had it all along. So is it marched? And what does Targaryens still have? Guessing not a lot of econ, we've seen a lot of that already. Close call, yeah. Ah, and it's actually the Harris, which does not help at all at the moment. March would have been better. He can dig now with the agenda. So there was a water dancer sword. Is that's still a thing? Seems so. If you could just somehow get the win by 5, right, to get those freedmen in. And this is alright. He has half a chance, but he keeps 1 gold, does not bestow Begging Brother. And here comes the penalty possibly. So taking Jorah's icons and let's say Begging Brother's power icon. Maybe that's not the ideal combination. Because ideally he would want to stop the win by 5, right? But now Jorah and Begging Brother could still just do intrigue. still 4 gold left though for Lukas, and now I think there was a War Scorpion. Well, there was one before Mad King's Command. Maybe that's not exactly the card you keep in hand, is it? But he's not going for it anyway. Ah, he has this, right. And here they come. Yeah, I think Lukas possibly should have tried harder to keep them out, because he had a kind of a permanent lock on the game with so few characters, and now with Starfall there as well. Although if he's still going to just Morghulis again, then I guess it doesn't matter. Still time to complete the comeback. And finally that vengeance. And yeah. Vengeance actually on the intrigue claim, not on the military. Not paying enough attention, seems. Yeah, Drogon is a bit costly and too easy to control at this point, I guess, with that Starfall. Now they'll try with the power challenge. Maybe that's one you try to stop if you can. So he just defends. Grabs another card. And any chance of some ambush? Toomagic even winning dominance at this point. Oh, Iron Throne, sorry. Okay, 12 doesn't quite win the game now. I'm guessing it's going to be Behest, just to check what the last plot is. Just so you know whether you Morghulis or not. If the opponent reveals Morghulis, then you play something else. Just go for whatever. Exchange again or something. If not, he can kill them all. Then we know there's one non-character in hand and a mystery card. And he knows even more actually, because he had his Viper Eyes. And that's not the worst thing. Supporting the Fate. No Water Gardens, so some safety. I wonder why he didn't try earlier to prolong that Varys. When he had the board with Dario Naharis, he was doing really well. Okay, and Lukas forced to go first, which limits his economy. He has 7 and he has to spend it. On the other hand, he calls it thinking, which I'm sure he has at least one. He's now going to be unstoppable. 2 gold goes to waste. Unless it's there to cancel the plot, but that defeats the purpose. Now what's his situation with limits and such? Limit once per phase. So if he gets cancelled, sad day for Toomagic. Could try some kind of trick with doing it in the marshalling as well, but you'd need a dupe, right? And nothing much to be done. So I'm thinking Tyrion's power icon is going, and then his trigger possibly gets cancelled. Now what's the high road for? Because if it's an event, wouldn't get cancelled. For instance, if you had a two cost event in challenges after supporting the fate, but I guess with so many high cost attachments, just generally useful, not for anything specific. Okay, unopposed power, and he has another icon, but I guess she's now going to bring an Arrow Hotah or something in. Or not. I'm slightly surprised. Now these decks do tend to play a very low number of characters. So I wonder if Lukas is stuck. He had the big secret schemes and stuff like that, so I'd be surprised. You wouldn't play Morghulis if you had absolutely nothing, right? No, he's going to be enough to win dominance at the moment. Doesn't try the ability. I just keep forgetting about the Iron Throne. He's of course not winning dominance. I wonder why you would stand him. Maybe Toomagic also missed that. Shadow Black Assassin could have been played, right? Next round. And now surely some kind of exchange of information. Try and get some more answers. Well, naveling instead. I wonder, does he have the cards and just taking it slowly, confident that he's not going to get any surprises and lose the game? So he's going to collect 5 gold and some more for locations, let's say 9 gold. Yeah, that's plenty, against basically 0. And most likely a cancel for Tyrion. Okay, power icon. Toomagic keeps 1 gold, so he can pay against Equality Thinking. What's the situation? So any mercenary, right? Including Glisono, Old Bilbone, Dario still there, Vargo Hout. Yeah. By the way, if you're wondering, we should be around that 55-minute mark now. So if it was a time game, I think this would be the last round. And as you can see, Targaryen seems like it's going to win. It would be, let's say, 3 unopposed and dominance and power claim. So worst case 11-10, something like that for Toomagic. But it's not a time game, so if you can't get to 15, doesn't help. And okay, Vargo is a Tricon. He does not have anything useful in the way of keywords here. But he can try, he can take Tyrion's, I guess, stealth, and he can try to win the power challenge, but I'm slightly pessimistic about that plan. I think something's still coming in. At this point, Martell has pretty much drawn everything right, so takes the other icon. So plan B, try to get something else, but it's going to be opposed, whatever it is. Yeah. He's going to do some work later, I guess. Kill 2 characters, including Bastard Daughter, probably. Faction card still standing for Targaryen. So still a chance to put some kind of an attachment into play. If he had more gold, he could try. He has stealth, right? So he could try to take Renown and Intimidate as well. That's not bad, but she can't win the power challenge on her own. Is the Water Dancer's sword still available? I guess so. Yeah, very nice. That would be enough for sure to win on time, unless there's some kind of dominance game, but that's not the type of deck. But now I think it goes downhill. He has insight as well. Because of the dragon egg on Tyrion. And attacking on the military challenge has just given Dorn another chance, of course, to find the power icon. That's been a weakness of Martell's in the games I've recorded on my channel. And he has the intrigue icon, so he can defend this one. Groleo. Still alive as well. Ah, there we go. Can't bestow him, so he's just going to take the claim and then off he goes. But that's completely fine. Ah, of course, the father. Not much choice. Okay, we have another exchange, right? And close call on the other side. It's never a pretty sight. 3 cards and all 3 events are strong. Most of the characters are strong. They either draw or they give you a power icon, so I guess Bastard Daughter seems like the worst one. Vargo back in the discard pile, and Tyrion is coming back into play, I guess. Oh, don't see that very often. Okay, so it's in hand, right? Gives prize away, which is not nice, but can make sure that one character is not doing anything, I guess. And you could do that with the agenda if you kept the gold, but I think it needs to be spent here for Tyrion. And it absorbed the cancel, which is interesting. Last chance of cancelling Tyrion. Groleo now would be nice. So we're back to where we were before. And probably 1 gold capped to make sure he can trigger. Marshalling Lysa. That's always annoying. So she's going to remove Tyrion when she dies at the end of marshalling. And still plenty of gold to play Ariane Martell here. Yeah, she's bad enough in the challenges phase, but in the marshalling phase, when you probably don't have any counterplay. But he is still alive. And here we go. So this time 3 unopposed with power claim, and dominance should be 13-11. And renown. Yeah, he could do with that crown of gold, right? No, what's the highest initiative? Okay, he only has 2 plots left. Guess it doesn't matter, he's winning this. Hard to imagine how he wouldn't. So we have the smith into another exchange, plenty of gold, and the smith has no attachments at the moment to kneel anything. And burning and vengeance there as well. Let's see if Toomagic plays this out. Got pretty close. I was beginning to think that the game is not really winnable quite some time ago, but yeah, got to that 12-13 in the end, so maybe just a little bit more. Yeah, loses renown, but he's just sticking around now. If hypothetically the game went on, which it won't. If he could be allowed to claim power with renown. Do we have a noble lineage anywhere? Not yet. Of course we can kneel Starfall. But it's not enough. It's not even going to be enough strength once Ariane comes in to win the power challenge, I'm afraid. And even if it were and got to claim its 14 power and then it stops for you. And Lukas just does challenges back, right? Yeah. Gave it a good go though if he found this a little bit earlier to really push it on. Always seems to go alright until you get that one Varys. And yeah, unlucky. I guess you could say that on that passage of play where we had the Mad King's command and just nothing in play, that didn't really go well. Needed a bit more of that, but I think Lukas possibly had answers. I can't imagine that there's no Hotak and no extra icon control or stuff like that in hand. And there must be a War Scorpion somewhere, right? Marshaled one just now. This removes without standing, which is especially nice. And possibly there isn't a card big enough to stand Barista now with Plaza of Pride. I think they're going to defend, and if something happens, they're going to... never mind. I was going to say preemptively, or not preemptively, but after something annoying happens, just remove him. Maybe with... I was looking at the War Scorpion. But okay, just removing him immediately does mean that you can let it go. And now he can stand and do military, but that's not winning the game, is it? And I think Lukas is just going to defend anyway, not give it a chance to happen. Yeah, he has the game won. Just don't do anything silly. In fact, I guess this can already be called a concession, this chat earlier, so... Even passing here wins the game with dominance. Any last second tricks? He can give himself the water dancing sword as well, right? maybe not. Okay, so an hour and 17 minutes. Bit more than I imagined it would be. Quite draining, but it was a very nice game here, very close. And okay, these last few minutes were pretty much just going through the motions, but it had some uncertainty there towards the end whether Targaryen would just about manage it. So Lukas makes the final, not his first at all. I remember, yeah, sometime maybe 2 years ago, last year maybe, recording a final with him and Marius Brown. That was something like 2 hours. That was crazy. It was a really good game, but this time up against Jakob Müller, who is playing in this tournament mainly Martell. Knights of the Hollow Hill, but also some other stuff, so it's not going to, I guess, fully commit and make it too easy to predict. But we'll also, I guess we'll see when this is played. We're expecting a new restricted list, and I'm not sure if it's going to be before the final is scheduled or not. But I'm guessing maybe not. And you will have seen the final anyway before watching this, because I tend to upload these later for the Champions of Westeros. Don't want to spoil anyone's plans by uploading their previous games before the final is played. So hopefully we can get to stream the final live like we've done for the previous few editions, and hopefully you will join us for that next week between Jakob Müller and Lukas Abels-Vehns. So thanks for joining me tonight, and see you next time.